Hello and welcome. You're tuned into Rush Hour with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, the Indian rupee ended at its lifetime closing low today. Rupee has come under pressure due to the rising crude oil prices and weakness in other Asian currencies. Now, the rupee closed at 83.27 against the US dollar today. Now, the previous record low was at 83.26 on September the 18th. And I'm joined by Gaurang Somaiya, who's the FX Analyst of Motilal Oswal, the Indian rupee. Hi, Gaurang. Welcome to ET Now.
Hello, Ankita.
Right. Gaurang, so the Indian rupee has hit a one-year low, falling to 83.28 against the US dollar. Investors are on edge amid the escalating worries, over oil prices and growing concerns about the Middle East conflict. Now, at what levels is the rupee expected to really stabilize?
Good evening to everyone. And I think rupee in the last few months, actually, it's just stabilizing around these levels of 83. And definitely it has been on the depreciation trajectory in the past few sessions because of the geopolitical tensions that have been going on. But at the same time, if you see, the central bank has been very actively intervening and curtailing the volatility of the currency. And we are expecting that this intervention is likely to continue. The central bank has kind of used up some of its reserves in the past few months, and that again is helping the rupee stabilize despite the strength in the dollar index. We have seen this geopolitical tensions also escalating, but rupee as such has been a little resilient and is just hovering around these levels of close to 83.25, 83 kind of levels in the past few weeks.
Okay, and also Gaurang, if you look at the crude now, the Brent crude oil futures climbed nearly 6% on Friday and were, last up at $91 a barrel or thereabouts on concerns, of course, surrounding the military conflict that's going on in the Middle East. Rising oil prices have dragged the rupee, of course, to the 10-month low recently, but this volatility in oil is likely to continue, given the geopolitical tensions. How is this likely to impact the rupee going forward?
So, yes, I think crude has been in focus in the last few sessions, actually, because of the rising geopolitical tensions. And if this does continue, if we do see crude oil prices still rallying in the next few weeks, actually, then we might see that impact also coming in on the currency. So we are expecting that the trajectory for the rupee will continue to be towards the depreciation against the US dollar. But the pace of depreciation will be quite controlled, as I mentioned, because of the intervention of the central bank. So yes, how much the geopolitical tensions escalate in the next few weeks is obviously nobody's say. But the volatility in crude oil is likely to impact the currency. And if we do see, as I mentioned, that if we do see this rally continuing in global crude oil prices, the trajectory in terms of the rupee depreciation is likely to take it towards that 84 levels as well. But like I said, the pace of depreciation will be quite controlled because of the intervention.
Right, and speaking of the intervention then, what is going to be RBI strategy given the oil prices volatility is unlikely to stabilize? I mean, is the Reserve Bank of India likely to keep selling dollars to ensure that the rupee does not fall to a record low yet again?
So if we look at the last reserves number, the last week's number, the reserves currently stand at close to 585 billion. So to be precise, 584.7. And we've seen quite a bit of fall coming in these reserves number. So if I have to put in a number, so the all-time high for the reserves were about that 630, 635 level. And from there, we are down till about 585. So almost 40 to 45 billion erosion of reserves is what we've seen. But again, the RBI has been intervening and also building up its dollar reserves whenever there is a bit of appreciation coming in for the rupee. So how much it'll be, using up its reserves, it's a difficult call to take. But yes, we are expecting that it's been a great step that the central bank has been taking and managing the volatility of the currency.
Right, and Gaurang, what's your sense as to where will the dollar stabilize? Where is it going? The dollar index is rising, where the US economy looks pretty resilient. How should one look at the dollar index? Where is it likely to stabilize?
I think if you look at the last couple of weeks, the strength in the dollar index has been very steady. Yes, there has been a lot of choppiness, volatility because of the geopolitical tensions. But we are expecting that the strength in the dollar index is likely to continue, and that also could add to a bit of pressure on the rupee. If you also look at the US Treasury yield, that again has been close to a 16-year high that we saw it hitting in the last 1 week or so, and we are expecting that the trajectory of the US 10-year yield. Apart from that, the strength in the dollar index is likely to weigh on the currency in the next few months. So obviously, if you look at what the Fed is expected to do in the next couple of meetings, so we are expecting that in the November.
We seem to have lost your audio, Gaurang. Seems to be a technical blip there. But thank you so much, Gaurang, for joining in.
Okay, thank you.
All right.